If you enjoy my videos, like, comment, and consider subscribing so you never miss a new video. Hi everyone, welcome back to Crochet Bits and Knits. So for today's video, we're going to make one of these face mask adapters. If you have any essential workers in your life, or you can wear it yourself, I've heard that the strings on the face masks are really uncomfortable, so this would be a really great thing for anybody who's wearing a face mask throughout the day. For this particular project, you're going to need some string, some thread string, a needle, and a smaller thread needle to sew your buttons on. I have a stitch marker, some scissors, and really any scrap yarn that you have will do just fine. I'm using a cotton yarn. It's just some scrap yarn I have left over. And I am using a 5.5 millimeter hook, but just use whatever hook is recommended for the yarn that you're going to use. And we'll start with a slip knot and begin by chaining 11. Okay, so chaining 11, and then we're going to start working down our chain. So we'll make a single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and just making a single crochet. So you're going to want to stop after that first single crochet. We'll put a stitch marker in that stitch just that we know that that's our first stitch. And then we're just going to continue single crocheting all the way to the end of the row. Right, so when we've gotten to the end of the row, we're going to make 3 single crochets into this last stitch. So we've already made 1. We're going to go in again and make 2 and 3. So now we're going to start working down the other side. So what I like to do is just hold the yarn to just kind of crochet that right in so you don't have to weave the ends. So we're going to just go right over to this next stitch and continue with our single crochets. So it's a little trickier to see where you're going to go in on this side, but just trying to space them out evenly. Right, so once we get to the end of the row, we see where we have our first stitch here. We're going to take our stitch marker out, and we're going to go into that stitch with a single crochet, and we're going to make 2 more single crochets into that same stitch so that we have 3 single crochets in that stitch. Okay, so let's go back here and we'll put a stitch marker here at the end of that row. And we're going to again continue just to make single crochets all the way around until the end of this row. Okay, so once you're at the end over here at this row, you want to take the middle stitch, so it's right at the very, very end, and we're going to make 3 single crochets into that stitch. And then just single crocheting again into each stitch until you reach your stitch marker. Right before the stitch marker, that's where we'll put the 3 single crochets. And take this stitch marker out, and we're just going to slip stitch into that stitch there. Okay. Alright, so from here, we will just begin to sew our buttons. So I just have a big bag of like various buttons. They really don't have to match. I don't think that's super important. Just 2 buttons that are like similar in size and shape, I think is just fine. Right, so I actually found 2 that look pretty much identical. So you're just going to want to sew these buttons on, right, one on either end, and really just making sure that they're on pretty securely. So I'm going to go ahead and sew my buttons on, and I'll meet you when I'm done. And there we go. I sewed my button on, and I've got 2 so far, and it's really just as simple as that. So thank you all for watching. Stay safe. See you next time.